working on today is a Listeroid. So it's I think it's Indian made version of the Lister 6.1 single cylinder diesel engine. We got the cylinder off of it because we've got some cracks in here, and we're going to attempt to weld these cracks up so that the water jacket will hold water and not leak out all the coolant. You can see this is a sleeved cylinder. And there's almost nowhere. You can still see the hone marks inside the cylinder. So the cylinder's good other than the fact that it won't hold any coolant. So that's what we're going to be working on. Right, the underside of this cylinder, you can see the sleeve hanging out of the bottom. Looks like just a paper gasket used to seal it to the crankcase. I'm going to scrape that off just with a standard automotive type scraper, gasket scraper. Okay, we've got the cylinder here. I've got everything cut out, and you can see I've built a little kind of an oven out of refractory brick that I had laying around, and I've got the cylinder inside of it. I've got a big torch over here for burning weeds that I'm going to put on there. Now, notice I've got the refractory brick in front because I don't want the flame to actually hit the cylinder. I don't want it to have an uneven heating on the front. So hopefully those bricks will diffuse the flame and the heat around the sides, and the refractory brick will evenly heat the whole thing. I really have no idea what I'm doing, but I kind of have some ideas. So we'll see if this works. We're going to strike it up, and we're going to get this thing up just a couple hundred degrees before we weld it. I really don't know how hot it has to get, and I don't know if there's a temperature that if I exceed it, I've done some damage to the structure or warped it or something like that. I really don't know, but we're going to try it. So next step will be heating this thing up. We can have any more luck. We got that thing preheating. Over here, get the torch set back up, and we'll check back in. Okay, I'm using a Cobra DHC 2000. Used to be marketed under the name Henrob. It's actually kind of a gimmicky torch, but it does work really well for stuff like this. What we're going to do is get the flame not so carbony, but not blue enough to cut. So we'll bring it down. I don't know if you can see this or not. You'll bring it down to a nice oxidizing flame, and then you're going to add just a little bit of feather on there. And we're going to turn the heat up quite a bit because we do have a pretty thick piece of cast iron we're going to try to weld. And when I say heat up, I don't mean hotter, but I mean more quantity of heat. Okay, there we go. Okay, 142 on the back side of the cylinder, 131 on the front, 126 on the back side, 200 degrees or so on the front side. All right, we'll move it around this side. We're just trying to knock the chill out of it, is what I've heard people say. And I really don't know what I'm doing, so this is my first try. There you go, and I got my flux here. It's a brazing flux and my cast iron welding rod. I'm gonna have to change tips. All right, we're gonna change tips, heat this thing back up, try it again. Well, it turns out my acetylene ran out, so I couldn't get enough heat to get this thing to weld. But the flux is down in there, as you can see. So out of desperation, while it was still hot, I pulled my MIG out and tried to MIG it. But you can see it immediately cracked it, and I had the torch kind of hovering over it, trying to keep it warm. So MIG is certainly not the answer. So anyway, we're going to go get some more acetylene and try this again. Okay, we got some new acetylene. We're going to try this one more time. Well, I can tell you that's not going to work. That's pretty crappy looking weld. It's not even puddling into the cast iron, so I think this might be... Alright, here's the new cylinder comparing to the old cylinder. It's got some cleaning up that needs to be done. It's oily, of course. Open up that water outlet. Try to match it a little bit closer to that one. But anyway, yeah, that's what a new one looks like. You can see it doesn't have the boss over here that this one did, where my fuel filter was, so I'm going to have to find a new place for the fuel filter. But other than that, everything else looks pretty comparable. You saw my other video. I was unable to repair this one. I tried. I'm sure somebody could, but I couldn't. So anyway, we're going to get this thing cleaned up, drop it on the crankcase, and see how it looks.